In a land where rivers weave through villages and rice fields like threads of destiny, a silent crisis is unfolding. Islands that once echoed with laughter, harvests, and prayer have vanished. No earthquakes, no fire, just the quiet, relentless pull of the river. This is Bangladesh, a country where land is both a gift and illusion, where people build their homes on hope and watch them disappear overnight. Welcome to the Silent Atlas. Today, we uncover a mystery that is not buried in the past, but unfolding right now. This is the story of the vanishing islands of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is cradled by three mighty rivers, the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna. Together, they form the largest and most dynamic river delta on Earth. Every year, these rivers carry billions of tons of silt down from the Himalayas, enough to form entirely new stretches of land called chars. A char might begin as a sliver of sand, then swell into a small island. Within a few years, people move in. Farmers, fisherfolk, families looking for a fresh start. They build homes from tin and bamboo. They plant rice, tend goats, and open makeshift schools under the sky. But just when life begins to take root, the river changes its mind. The same water that brings life takes it away. Imagine waking up to the sound of rushing water. Not a flood, but the land beneath your house sliding into the river, piece by piece. You run. You gather your children. You leave everything behind. And when you return the next morning, your village is gone. This is not rare. It happens every year to mothers, to school children, to elderly men who once believed they'd die in the same home they were born in. More than 5 million people in Bangladesh live on these unstable islands. Many have moved 4, 5, even 6 times, each time with nothing but a few pots, a cow, if they're lucky, and the memory of what used to be. They are some of the most climate-vulnerable people in the world, and yet the least visible. Why does this happen? The science is simple, yet heartbreaking. During the dry season, sediment settles. The river deposits its riches, but in the monsoon, swollen by glacier melt and torrential rains, the rivers become violent. Erosion accelerates, land collapses. Entire chars, some the size of towns, can vanish in days. And now, climate change is making it worse. The rains come heavier, the cyclones strike harder. Glaciers feeding these rivers are melting faster, pushing more water downstream. With rising seas and intensifying storms, the line between land and water grows thinner every year. But this isn't just a scientific event. It's a human one. Amina Begum, a 38-year-old mother of 4, once owned 2 acres of fertile land on a char near the Jamuna River. She lost it to erosion in 2018, then again in 2021. Now she lives in a plastic tent on a raised embankment, her children sharing a torn blanket. There's no place left to go, she says, but we're still alive. That's something. There are no official records of her losses, no compensation, no news reports. Like thousands of others, her story disappears, just like the land she stood on. And yet, despite everything, the people adapt. They build homes on stilts. They grow vegetables on floating beds, made from banana stems and water hyacinths. They teach their children in schools that float from island to island. NGOs operate floating clinics and libraries. Solar panels power radios. Livestock is tied to boats, ready to evacuate. In the southern delta, mangroves are being planted to act as natural walls against erosion. Bangladesh, despite its vulnerability, is becoming a living laboratory for resilience. Not by choice, but by necessity. What does it mean to belong to a place that disappears, to love a land that is always slipping through your fingers. In these vanishing islands, people are not just surviving a changing planet. They are showing us how to live with it. They don't run from the water. They learn to float with it. They grieve, rebuild, and plant again, even when they know it may all be lost. The vanishing islands of Bangladesh are not a distant crisis. They are a mirror, a warning, a question. What would you do if the ground beneath you vanished? Thank you for joining us on this journey through the disappearing chars of Bangladesh. If this story touched you, help us amplify these unheard voices. Like, share, and subscribe to the Silent Atlas. Because sometimes it's the quietest stories that matter the most. Until next time, stay curious and let the silence speak.